Welcome! In today's episode, we're taking you to one of the most beautiful Dalmatian islands, the island of Brač. Famous for its enchanting small towns, which have kept an air of history and tradition, a taste for top-class gastronomy and fishing, and recognizable for glistening white stone used for many buildings around Croatia and the world. Stay with us and find out more. In our last episode, we met some fearless pirates of Omiš, who once in 13th century attacked this beautiful small town of Pucisca. Luckily, as the inhabitants had plenty of stone available and were master craftsmen in stone carving, they had built 13 defense towers and resisted the attack. Today, all there's left are a few forts, some of which have been turned into palaces, and it is almost unbelievable that some of them actually served as defense. Pucisca is best known for its tradition of extracting and processing stone from a nearby quarry, where the pieces are carefully cut and prepared for further processing. In Pucisca, there is a quarry school where young students prepare for future occupations related to stone processing. With many practical lessons, they learn using real stone blocks, and there is not much room for mistakes. There is no undo option here. One wrong move with the hammer and all day's efforts can be ruined. Perhaps not all the students will become the ultimate stone processing artists, but at this school they will master the basics and advanced stone processing techniques, and will be able to choose the profession that best suits them according to their own affinities. A small idyllic village, Supetar, is a real oasis of peace and tranquility. There are no crowds and certainly no hustle and bustle in this paradise. So visitors can truly relax and give in to authentic tastes and colors of Dalmatia and its local cuisine. The Church of Saint Ivan dates from 1579 and stands behind the origin of the name of this village. An interesting detail on the bell tower did not escape our camera lens. The legend says that on one summer's day, at the priest's kitchen, an octopus, which was being prepared for lunch, jumped out of the pot to find an escape in the shade of the bell tower. A cat on the roof spotted this scene and ran after the octopus. Of course, the problem ensued in how to descend from up there. This funny moment was preserved in a sculpture of a cat on the bell tower. Splitska Bay, framed in rich Mediterranean vegetation and deep blue sea, is at 7 kilometers east of town of Supetar. During the time of the building of Diocletian's palace, Splitska was a port where stone from Brač was shipped over to Split. At the nearby quarry Rasohe, there is still to this day a carved figure of Heracles, work of one of Diocletian's carvers. A lovely small place has grown around the church of Blažena Djevica Marija, and a well-known summer residence, Villa Cerinic, where every visitor can find a little piece of heaven for themselves, whether in enjoying the local food or an authentic Dalmatian ambience. Beautiful nearby coves, bays and beaches, basking in the light shade of pine trees, makes Splitska one of the most desired tourist destinations, ideal for family vacationing. Valle di Mille Navi, Bay of 1,000 Ships, is the Italian origin of the name Milna. Settled on the west coast of island Brač, hospitable bays of Milna are favorite anchorages for most sailors navigating the central Dalmatian aquatorium. Even today, Milna is considered to be the most beautiful and secure harbour on the island of Brač. With 2 well-equipped marinas, Milna is sure to satisfy even the most demanding sailors. Adorned with a long enchanting coastline with a string of stone houses, it is a small masterpiece of a folk architecture. Milna was once famous also for its shipbuilding. And this is exactly where the building of the typical Dalmatian ship Bracera took place. Today, Milna is a well-known tourist spot and a favorite nautical harbour. Apart from all the historical sites, exquisite natural beauties, and the irresistible charm of a typical Dalmatian small town, Milna is the place to be if you're looking for the healthy Mediterranean cuisine. Rich in fresh fish, quality olive oil, and locally produced wines. The ACI Marina is located at the end of the deep bay, naturally protected from all the winds, and thus very safe for a peaceful and comfortable dreaming on board. The marina has 183 berths and all amenities necessary to modern sailors. Reception with an exchange office, ATM, coffee bar, scooter rent and rent-a-car, grocery store, a shop for nautical equipment and spare parts, diving services, sanitary facilities with separate section for the disabled, laundry service, technical service, crane with a capacity to lift up to 8 tons and, of course, internet access system. The fuel pump is located just before the entrance to the marina. The restaurant at the marina is exactly the right spot for exhausted sailors to come in after a day's adventures at the sea. The welcome drink is served directly aboard ships. And after short refreshments, the time is right for a little indulgence on the taste buds. Manistra, green noodles with fresh seafood, is the first thing on the menu today. Fresh calamari, tuna steak, mussels, scampi and shrimp are just some of the ingredients of this delicious traditional dish. Naturally, all the ingredients depend on the catch of the day and availability, since everything needs to be exceptionally fresh. Before putting the fish on the grill, it is necessary to first cut from head down towards the tail, so to be able to check exactly when the fish is done. This part of meat is the thickest and a sure sign when the food is done. The trick worked and the fish is superb. Now the only thing left to do is to arrange it on the dishes and serve. We are hanging out again with our friends from Sea Help, who are helping us with quick transport around the Adriatic. And they are a real help to numerous sailors and owners of ships in rescue action of their valuable vessels. We are leaving Vrbovska and heading towards one of the most beautiful natural phenomena in the Adriatic, Zlatni Rat. This amazing natural beach is by far one of the most beautiful ones in all of the Adriatic. There is also an interesting point to it. In fact, the very tip of the peninsula constantly changes shape and position due to the influences of wind and sea stream. So you will often see it in completely different conditions. Beautiful golden pebbles make it ideal for sunbathing and playing in the sea. However, this does make the time on the beach even hotter. But the pine forest further up the peninsula is a perfect place to escape to. A beautifully landscaped walk through the shades of pines will take you from the beach to the center of Bol in 10 minutes. Bol is situated on the southern part of the island Brač and is the oldest town on the coast of Brač. At only 10 kilometers distance from Bol, there's conveniently Brač Airport. Numerous low-cost airlines have their flights on offers during summer months. So if you're not coming by a sailboat or by car, the best way to come over is by plane. As a settlement, Bol was first mentioned in the 15th century And the most significant cultural progress was achieved during the French ruling from 1805 to 1814, with the abolishment of nobility and establishment of schools and educational programs. In 1923, tourism was activated as a proper economic branch in Bol. In the late 90s, Bol was one of the most prestigious Croatian summer resorts among members of the Croatian and world jet set. Nearby, there used to be some famous nightclubs. Unfortunately, the jet set has moved on to some other destinations, and popular clubs are either closed or empty. There was a time when pirates were greeted in a much different way than today. The church bells would ring, the people would start running, and cannons would fire. Today, you might say a lot has changed. Postira is a real little piece of heaven. And everyone who visits immediately takes on all the zen and tranquility of this place. Once a fishing village and workers' place, today this spot is ideal for a relaxing vacation for numerous tourists from all over the world. Originally built stone houses and narrow alleys provide an authentic Dalmatian ambience. In the wider area around Postira, there are many small bays and pebble and rocky beaches, enclosed with pine forests. In a deep valley, some 2 kilometers away from the sea, there is a small place called Dol. This oasis of peace and quiet is an unmissable place for many tourists, including hikers and cyclists, since there are many well-groomed trails and paths going different directions. At the very entrance, the experience of this place is breathtaking. Traditionally built houses with stone slabs, just like numerous small cobblestone caves that were used as small dwellings for inhabitants, today are used as shelter for cattle, pigeons, owls and viver. Viver is a mythical creature believed to be living inside the caves of Dol. And maybe if you're lucky, or unlucky, you could hear its roar. Supetar is the largest settlement on the island of Brač, and also actually the only city. And as such, it presides as the administrative, cultural and tourist center of the island. St. Mary's Announcement Church from the 18th century, with a beautiful bell tower and a church museum, is a sight not to be missed. Powerful stamp in Supetar was the one left by Croatian sculptor Ivan Rendić, who lived in Supetar for the last 11 years of his life, enriching its sites with numerous fantastic artworks. He created sculptures, architectural works and monumental tombstones for affluent families. His own last resting place, however, is very modest and unassuming, very much unlike the ones he had created. He died poor and destitute in 1932. He never got over the fact that another sculptor, Toma Rosendic, was assigned the project of creating a mausoleum for Petrinović family, as he felt it was his life's work.